Instagram. So you go ahead and get the updates on this one, my brother. Appreciate you on the chapter updates. So we are at Second Chronicles chapter 20. And this is Judah invaded. And we're going to talk about Jehoshaphat, right? So this is about Judah, the community being invaded. Again, we're talking about victories and smelling the roses, but not celebrating. We're giving examples of how the Most High has saved and brought his right hand to be our salvation over all types of enemies, international, local, or national. So in 20 it says, it came to pass after this also that the children of Moab, the Moors, and the children of Ammon, and with them other besides the Ammonites, came against Jehoshaphat to battle. Now, Jehoshaphat is a name that we all know. We know this is a person in history, saying, "There cometh a great multitude against thee from beyond the sea on this side of Syria." This is the present. We talking about the same present day Syrians, talking about Asia Minor. And beheld, they be in Hazazon or Hazazon Tamar, which is in Engedi. And Jehoshaphat feared and set himself to seek Ashur, and proclaim a fast throughout all Judah. So how do we come across major battles? We fast together. When we are feeling like we are afraid, thank you, Reb, we feel like we are afraid of impending battles, things that may overcome us, we don't have the answer to, we fast. So now we know going into battle what we need to do. We need to fast before we go into battle. As we're in battle, we are, as Bruce Lee said, we are following the law, statutes, and commandments. And in that, we will hit our enemy without looking to hit our enemy. Our following the laws and statutes and commandments will hit all by itself. And then once we have the victory, as it said in Joshua, we reinstill who gave us the victory. And it says, and Jehoshaphat feared and set to seek Ahijah and proclaim a fast throughout all Judah. And Judah gathered themselves together to ask help of Ahijah, even out all the cities of Yehudah. They came to seek Ahijah, even outside of Judah. And Jehoshaphat stood in the congregation of Yehudah and Jerusalem. So that the northern tribes came down, as well as the two northern tribes of Benjamin and Yehudah, as well as the Levites. He says, in the house of Ahijah before the new court, and said, Ahijah, the power of our fathers, art thou our power in heaven? And rulest not thou over all the kingdoms of the heathen? So Jehoshaphat, he brings it directly unto the Most High. As I was telling my brother, I finally got kicked out. I said, we got to check our so-called gods, our friends, and we check our jobs, we check, but we know we don't check. We don't check what the government tells us. We don't check what CNN tells us. We just take those things at face value. But we should not. I check everything. So here the Most High is saying, here Jehoshaphat is checking the Most High. I see the building, Tim. What's up, man? Salute, what? So here, Jehoshaphat is checking the Most High. And I love that because I constantly check the Most High to make sure that I'm talking to my Creator and that I'm following the right way. So he shows it out in my real life. So here he's saying, Jehoshaphat, because they're about to get attacked by all the other people. Everybody's coming into prayer. And we know when we are going to battle, we fast. So we're getting real life ways of going at our enemies, of going at the government, going at whatever powers. We fast. So you're worrying about Israel, you're worrying about the war, you're worrying about bombing, you're worrying about the lollipop and the cards. Fast and pray. You'll get the answers on your path. Yes. Yeah, I know you do, Tim. I know you without a question. So it says here, he's asking him, he says, aren't you the God of our fathers? Aren't you a God in heaven? Don't you have power in heaven? It says, don't you rule us over the kingdoms of the heathens? And in thine hand is there not power and might, so that none is able to withstand thee? He says, well, art not thou our power? Who didst drive out the inhabitants of this land before thy people of Yasharallah and gave it to the seed of Abraham, thy friend forever? So Jehoshaphat is saying, you gave us all this for you to allow them to come and take this? Aren't you the one that's supposed to be our power? Aren't you the one that said don't pray to nobody else? Aren't you the one that said that you got power over all these kingdoms and all these heathens? This is what he's telling them to the Most High. Is that like it may not be a prayer that you didn't heard before, right? It may not, when your pastor read it, maybe it don't sound like he come at him like a real man. Yeah. He's like, you're supposed to be my creator. You're supposed to be the creator of my forefathers. I'm supposed to ditch all these other fools that fight me constantly because I'm claiming your name. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. He said, you were the same one that drove everybody out for us. He said, verse 8, it says, and thy dwell therein, and they dwell therein, and have built thee a sanctuary therein for thy name, saying, if when evil cometh upon us, as the sword, judgment, or pestilence, or famine, we stand before this house, and in thy house, and say in thy presence, for thy name is in this house, and cry unto thee in our affliction. Then thou wilt hear and help. He says, we built this house. You said that to come. He said, you said that if when evil comes upon us, the sword, judgment, pestilence, or whatever it comes upon us, that we come in this house of your name. And he says, and now behold, the children of Ammon and Moab and Mount Seir, whom thou wouldest not let Yasharallah invade, when they came out of the land of Egypt, but they turned from them and destroyed them not. So now Jehoshaphat is really getting at the Most High. He was like, we did everything you said. You told me not to attack them. You told me not to go ahead and kill them. And this one's just for you, my brother Tim. Sometimes you got enemies, you ain't got to cut the neck off literally. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I know what you're dealing with, Ak. You know what I'm saying? I feel you, Ak. So, but the Most High is saying, I got that power for you. So here he's saying, Jehoshaphat is saying, look, you told me not to touch these fools because you're going to handle that for me. And now these fools is at our doorstep, the very same ones you told us not to go ahead and invade. Joe, what's we talking about here, Most High? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need you to talk to me, right? And so in verse 11, he said, behold, I say how they rewarded us to come to cast us out of thy possession, which thou hast given us to inherit. He said, so for us not slamming them boys, now this is the thanks we get because I didn't slam you. Now you're gonna come in and try and come up against war against us? He says, oh, our Most High, our Almighty. I see in the building, Big G. It says, oh, our Most High, wilt thou not judge them? For we have no might against this great company that cometh against us, neither know we what to do. but our eyes are upon thee. How powerful is that? The boy say, look, even though we done stepped aside and didn't attack these dudes, we let them live. Now they coming up and trying to get us. Now, we, in this moment, ain't saying that we ain't still focused on you. We ain't saying that we don't get it. But you got them at our gates, and we are focused on you. We want you to see that we are focused on you. That we ain't got no fear. Ain't no fear here. Say, we done bust them grapes in the fruit fight a many a time in your name. We done got the victory in that. So what do we do now? And it says, and all Yahudah stood before Ahiah Ashur Ahiah, and their little ones, their wives, and their children. And it says, so Jahaziel answers the prayer. Then upon Jahaziel, the son of Zechariah, y'all know Zechariah, the son of Benaiah, the son of Jael, the son of Mattaniah, a Levite of the sons of Ashva, came the spirit of Ahiah Shoahiah in the midst of the congregation. The boy called the Holy One, the Ruach, right? And it says, and he said, hearken ye all of Yahudah, and all ye inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou King Jehoshaphat, thus said Ahiah Shoahiah unto you, be not afraid nor dismayed by reason of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but the Most High. So as Jehoshaphat is getting at the Most High, saying, man, you supposed to, you let us let these dudes breathe. We would have smashed them. You said, and then the Most High struck a dude. He didn't have to go through no seance. He didn't have to fall out. They didn't have to light no candles. They didn't have to do nothing. The Spirit came in. They were praying together. They fasted. They fasted together and came together in prayer because there's power in the numbers. And everybody screamed out. You don't hear nothing about them sacrificing nothing. They didn't go to no rituals. They didn't go into the temple and they made a peace offering. Remember that was in Joshua. They made a peace offering. So here, they just in the congregation in prayer together. It says, when two or more are together, he's there. That's why it's so important for us as Hebrew men to have our house in order. You can't have a victory if your house isn't praying with you. If your house isn't praying on one accord, you can't win. Your power is the Most High. You got demons doubling up on you. You got demons coming from all directions. You have to get your house in prayer mode of the Most High and bringing their problems to the Most High. Not always to you, but to the Most High. And let the Most High talk to them to maybe give you the answer. We ain't all got the answers. That's for sure. No, ain't no one person got all the answers. The Most High brought us together to be a union. Obviously, he was going to make it that we need each other. And it wasn't just because of the sex. I just want y'all to know, it ain't because of that part in the procreation. We can't build without being together. Two minds is better than one. Two praying together, he's in the presence. He edifies that. So it says, so as my man hopped up to let everybody know, Jehoshaphat, including the king, thus says the Most High, this is not your battle. This is mine. I got you. He says, tomorrow go ye down against them. Behold, they come up by the cliff of Ziz, and ye shall find them at the end of the brook before the wilderness of Jeruel. Ooh, the Most High just hit me with one. I'm just going to say it. Imagine you in your house going back to the parable I just gave, right? Of two or more and praying. And if you're not checking in with your house and making sure you and your household is on one accord, if you are wrong, If you are wrong as leading the house and they are actually following the Most High and they are praying and he's talking to them, you really ain't got no win. If you're not listening to them and knowing that what they're saying is coming from the Most High, you can't win. You are now the demon. You get it? You are the one that's in error. You're not listening to the wise counsel. You're not listening to what you've instilled in your home. Your home should be a reverberation of what you put out. You are the nucleus. Your home is the electron and the electron and neutrons. If they can't regurgitate the goodness that you've given, they're only regurgitating or giving back to you evil or misunderstanding or confusion or anger, then you have to check what you're giving to them. You have to check what you are giving to them. Being the nucleus, you have to give the righteousness, you have to give the law, and you have to walk in it, you have to be it. And make sure your household is in the same order so that you can have the victory. Because if you're wrong and you're going against them, you are going to fall terribly. But if you are wrong and you are understanding you don't want to accord with your household, you will see the Most High talking to you through them. You will see the Most High giving you wise counsel through them. Don't ever think that you are the one, the only that can give advice. You're the only one that can lead. You're the only smart guy in the building, right? No. They didn't do animal sacrifice. They didn't do anything but pray and fast together. And the Most High entered unto this man, and he was able to speak unto all of Yasharallah. And it says, he told him to go down into the wilderness tomorrow and be ready in the wilderness of Jeriel. Ye shall not need to fight. Ye shall not need to fight in this battle. Set yourselves, stand ye still, and see the salvation, what the Yasha, see the Yeshua of Ahaya Shoahaya with you. O Yahuda in Jerusalem, fear not, be not dismayed. Tomorrow go out against them, for Ahaya Shoahaya will be with you. And Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground. So this is the king that's supposed to be leading everybody. But he was crying unto the Most High, and he was a man of the Most High. So therefore he was able to hear the Most High. And so he bowed his head, broke his shoulders, right? And he says, and Yahudah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before Ahaya Shoahaya, worshiping the Most High. And Jehoshaphat bowed his head and his face to the ground. And all Yehudah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before Ahaya Ashur, Ahaya, I am that I am. What you say, my brother Ron? The only way that my prayers have been getting answered was once my children joined in with me in prayer. Oh, praise him to the Most High, my brother, with that testimony. All his prayers started working when the kids start praying with him. Man, I pray somebody hears that. There are blessings coming when the children are praying with you. Man, thank you for that, my brother. Verse 19. And the Levites of the children again, of the children of the Kohites. So you have the lying synagogue of Satan that say that, they are from the bloodline of the Kohen, the Cohens, right? Cohem, but we have it spelled with a K here, right? But they call the Cohens, so that's supposedly they came under that priesthood. They married into the Levitical Kohems, right? The Kohites, and now they are whatever. So, and the children of the Kohites stood up to praise Ahaya Shoahaya, the power of Yasharallah, with a loud voice on high. Enemies destroyed themselves. What it says, enemies destroyed themselves. That's the power of your prayer. That's the power of your fasting, is that your enemies will destroy themselves. And they rose early in the morning and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa. And as they went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, Hear me, O Yehuda, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem, believe in Ahijah, your power. See, it don't work if you ain't got belief. See, you got people that can move physical things because they believe that they can. Yasha told his disciples that you'll be able to move mountains, you'll be able to do greater things than me if you believe. It's so powerful over the physical. But we have been dumbed down through our foods and through our thought process and through our power of the ancient ones. We've lost the power of the ancient ones by what we pollute our body with in so many ways. It's not just in alcohol. People pollute their minds with what they watch. They pollute their minds with what they hear. It ain't just drugs. We are polluting ourselves with the iniquity of this world. It says, and they rose early in the morning and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa. And they went forth. Jehoshaphat stood and said, Hear me, O Yehuda, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in Ahijah, your power, so ye shall be established. Believe his prophets, so shall ye prosper. When we say prophets, it's the same as the conscious community saying the ancestors. You came from these people. They will be your ancestors. We ain't got to make this hard and complicated. We got ancestors, right? And when he had consulted with the people, he appointed singers unto a higher. Wait. He's getting ready to go to war. The Most High already said that y'all got the victory, but you got to go up there and stand. But now he is appointing singers in the midst of this war unto a higher, and that should praise the beauty of holiness as they went out before the army, and to say, praise a higher, for his mercy endured forever. So before the army, because they knew they had the victory, they put a choir in front of them. I don't know how this is. I don't know if y'all could accept or receive how gangster this is. That he set forth the choir in front. My community, we come through singing to bring war. We come through singing to bury the dead. We come through singing to rejoice. We come through with the voice and the joy of our temples and what we're about to do. If we would just understand that the Most High gave us this temple, and to praise him is to praise the same temple. To praise him is to praise the ancestors. To praise him, to know where your power is,